Who is this person on the left? Ravana. Yeah, Ravana. So with 10 heads. And who is this boar here that they're taking in procession? Varaha. Varaha. Right? You remember? Varaha avatar. So,
Like Varahamurti.
Varahamurti. Yeah, Varahamurti. So, you see that all the Dashavatars are followed in Indonesia. Of course, the people who continue to do in Hinduism. Once upon a time, like 1,000 years ago, Hinduism was the predominant religion. But just like everywhere else in the world, Islam is increasing because of heavy preaching. In Cambodia, you see that there is Lord Vishnu lying down in Garbhodaka Ocean. This is like the Cabalspian. It's called the River of Thousand Lingas. So there are 1,000 lingas on the river floor actually. So in summer, you will see the lingas. In the winter, you will see, um, not winter, but anything other than summer, you will see water covering up the lingas. So you'll still see them, but they are not above the ground. So this is summer of the Thousand Linga temple in Cambodia. And then here is Lord Shiva and Parvati on the Nandi. They are going somewhere. That's the inscription. These are 5 Shivalingas near the river of Thousand Lingas. And here is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From his navel is coming a lotus flower in which Brahma is there. This is a zoom close up of Brahma. So if you look at Cambodia, it was the original Vedic country. If you look at Indonesia, they even call themselves Indo, right? Indonesia. They have that name India within them. So they follow this Dashavataras. And this is Bali. Most of Indonesia is Muslim, but Bali is still Hindu. So when all the Hindus were troubled in other parts of Indonesia, they all moved to Bali. And here are beautiful temples in Bali with lotus leaves on the water. And just like in India for a temple procession, they'll take on their head all the fruits and vegetables. So this is like a close-up view of how the lady is carrying vegetables. And look at the architecture. Look at the Simhadwara, where Simhas are there. Lions, just like Jagannath Puri. Every temple, they have these lions, 2 lions next to each other near the door, like that. Look at the beautiful art. And even on the top, there is a lion face, like that. Then Ganesha. And here's a lotus flower. So they grow a lot of lotuses and offer it to Lord Vishnu. So again, you see 2 lions near the Simhadwara. Actually, in my grandfather's house, in the old house, now they broke it down and built all these stupid flats. There used to be Simhadwara, and they used to call that Simhadwaram. Like the entry point of the house was called Simhadwara, lions protecting our house, like that. About 25 years ago, that was broken, and some silly flats came there. Here are some flowers that are being offered. So beautiful, you see, like the temple outskirts. So beautiful.
So Prabhuji,
Yeah.
only lying in front of the temple, right? Not in front of the house,
What's that?
right? What is the reason of having lying in front? Like, do they do it in the house as well?
I'm getting
Like,
too much static in your voice. Can you put your question in the chat window, please? Yeah, Chandar, can you put in your question in the chat window? Oh, why do we need lion? Lion represents protection to the house as it represents Lord Narsimha. could not hear your question very well with the static. And you see the ladies in Bali, they also wear the kumkum on their forehead. It's like pure Hinduism. There's nothing else. And in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Bali, all the Hindu temples are the reason they have tourism, right? So around 1293, 1520 AD, you used to have all these other kingdoms like Malay Peninsula, which is now Malaysia, Borneo, Sumatra, Kalimantan, the whole Leela of Krishna, Kalimantan, dancing on top of head of Kali. So when Krishna says, now you should leave Yamuna river and go away Kali, after that Kaliya story, so he goes to this Southeast Asia, Kali, Kaliya serpent. And that's where all his followers are right now, supposedly. So Hinduism came to dominate Balinese culture, and the Dutch control helped mitigate religious violence for many centuries. Minister of Religion declared monotheistic faiths, so only Hindus, Islam, Christianity, they were all accepted as primary religions there. So most important festival in Balinese Hinduism is Galungan, celebrating Dharma's triumph over Adharma. It is similar to Indian festival of Diwali, but it's not at the same time in the calendar because they don't follow a 365-day calendar, only a 210-day calendar, which is one of the ancient calendars, the Hindu calendars, so-called Hindu calendars like that. So they worship Mother Saraswati. Look at how beautifully they decorated Mother Saraswati in a lot of gold, filigree. Sometimes I think that the Bali temples have more splendor and the Thai temples have more splendor. Like when I went to Thailand, the King's Palace, Grand Palace as it's called, so beautiful. The whole Ramayana is painted on the walls. Until today, they are preserving it. You cannot touch the paintings, very well preserved. Whereas in many parts of India, most of these things, beautiful paintings like Ajanta Ellora paintings, they're all destroyed.
Yeah.
So again,
Prabhuji, in Thailand, when you'd gone, the pujaris or when people who performing, do they have their own like mantras, or is it any resemblance of Sanskrit mantras?
there is no resemblance to our mantras because they are no longer Sanskrit mantras. They are local language, right? Just like, for example, a Hindi-speaking person goes to Tamil Nadu, he will not understand what the mantras are if they are recited in Tamil, right?
Got
The
it.
same thing. So you will hear the chants, like you can go to YouTube and hear the chants, but they're very different because they are local languages. So there are 20,000 temples in Bali, 20,000 temples. And the famous is called Mother Temple Baisakhi. Baisakhi is also a festival in Punjab in India. So maybe there is some connection there like that. There are other temples like Taman Ayun, Ulun Danu. They're all local languages, right? So they're all like either Vishnu temples or Shiva temples, Durga temples, like that. And then now we come to Vietnam. We had a quick overview of Cambodia, quick overview of Bali, and now quick overview of Vietnam. So there is this sect called Chams. Originally it was called Champa Kingdom. And India also there are names like Champaklata. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are names like Champaklata. So Cham are Vietnam's only surviving Hindus, right? Everybody else converted to Christianity or Islam, mostly Islam. So Swaminathan, author of a blog called Ancient Sanskrit Inscriptions in Strange Places, he writes, the first Champa kingdom or Cham king was known as Sri Maran, identified as a Tamil ruler. In fact, the Pandyan king ruled Vietnam. So Vietnam was ruled by the Pandyans, Cambodia was ruled by the Pallavas, and Bali was ruled by one other kingdom. Right now you had all these sequence of great kings in Tamil dynasties. So they all took over each one of these countries basically. So back then there was a lot of trade and interaction between India and Southeast Asia. Then it got cut out and Islam people, because India was itself grappling with Islam onslaught, right? Getting attacked by Islamists. and then later on with British, and later on with Christian conversions. So India never really was able to recover, and only now Swami Prabhupada and his disciples are spreading this all over the world. All these writings were done by Prabhupada's disciples on the internet. They kind of went and traveled to these various places and collected this data. One University of Washington professor, he quit his UW position. Now he's translating in Sanskrit. He traveled extensively in Southeast Asia. So he gave some lectures a few years ago, and he said the Southeast Asian culture is very suited for Vedic culture. In Thailand, you see that. Vietnam, little less, became very, very materialistic. Bali, there is still something, but Bali is just like a small island, right? All the Hindus from various parts of Indonesia just moved to Bali. Everywhere else, it's Islam. Indonesia is an official Islam country. Although their people like their presidents and prime ministers will have names like Maran or Tangabadalai, like that. They will have very Indian sounding names, but they will all be Muslims, like that. They'll have one traditional name and one Islamic name. So the oldest Sanskrit inscription discovered in Vietnam mentions Sri Maran. Another Champaking was called Bhadravarman. So if you look at Thailand, Cambodia, Bali, and Vietnam, this Varman, or Varmas as they are called in North India, and Varman in South India, this Varman is a very common title that they take. Varmas are basically Kshatriyas, right? So like all these Vietnamese kings were always had end name is Varman, Bhadravarman, like that. Simhapura, right? Lion City, you see? They're naming their cities Simhapura because they were all Vedic kingdoms. And in the final years, he abdicated his throne. He gave up his throne and he spent last days in India on banks of Ganges River. He took sannyas and he came back to India. So it's like that. I mean, it's not like everybody is only worried about wealth. Even we will find that America is a sickening place after a while, and we want to renounce everything and chant Hare Krishna under some temple. That's bound to happen to each one of us also at some point. So there is a town called Phan, but that town was originally named was Panduranga. Right? There's one other town called Amravati in Vietnam. So this shows that they were all Vedic cities. Christopher Columbus, right, in the last voyage, he attempted to reach Champa Kingdom and he actually ended up in South America. So different people want to try different routes and they end up in different places. Just like Columbus, he wanted to find India and he went to North America. So fortunately for Vietnam, he was mistaken because he reached Costa Rica and he thought that was Vietnam. Otherwise, Vietnam would have been destroyed even further. The French destroyed Vietnam a lot, actually. They imposed Western culture on Vietnam. So here's a 10-handed Vishnu form. Most of the hands are cut off due to passage of time. And then in Champa temples, they used to worship Garuda, Narsimha, Kurma, Durga. Right? In 2001, 320 gold plaques were discovered with inscriptions decorated with various Hindu divinities like Garuda, Narsimha, Kurma, Durga, like that. So in 2013, they featured a Vishnu sculpture dated 3,500 to 4,000 years ago. So this Vishnu sculpture is older than any Vishnu sculpture even available in India right now. But of course, not everything has been excavated. If you go deep enough, you'll find Vishnu sculptures which are millions of years old. But so much excavation hasn't been done in India yet. India doesn't care about those things, right? People who are practicing Hinduism, they will just take their Japmala, chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. They are not into all these excavations, trying to compete with somebody. That is not there simply in the Vedic culture. Vedic culture is noted for realize yourself and leave the planet. Whereas Western culture is all about how to figure out what happened before us. Lot of interest in archaeology, that kind of stuff, astronomy. But Vedic astronomers, they didn't really worry so much. They said, okay, what is the purpose of astronomy? To understand what is the grahas influence on human beings, maybe mitigate that a little bit, but ultimate goal is liberation. So once liberation comes into your head, you don't worry about these minor things. So you see the right side, the lady in Vietnam is dancing. That's exactly Bharatanatyam. They call it something else. They wear also what look like towels, but they are doing Bharatanatyam. And just like in Cambodia that I showed earlier, Vietnam also, women carry these sacred offerings to the Lord. You see the temple here? That looks more like a Krishna temple actually. You see that? Maybe that is Krishna. Can anybody tell? Here in the top, under the arch. Maybe it is Krishna, maybe it is like one of the gopis, or it's not Mother Saraswati or Lakshmi, because Saraswati and Lakshmi look different. So you see on the right side, Bharatanatyam, they call it something else, but it's actually, the mudras are very simple. Mudra means how you touch your thumb with the different fingers. One is Vayu Mudra, one is Agni Mudra. Mudras transmit different kinds of energies. So only some Cham remain right now. Only 250,000 people speak the Champa language. And this is very interesting. Interestingly, the spread of written Sanskrit in India seems to coincide with its use in Vietnam and elsewhere in South Asia. So at the peak of the Sanskrit language in India, all of Southeast Asia was speaking Sanskrit back then. And then very few people are left now, but they are called the Balamon people. Balamon is a variation of Brahman, right? So these Cham Balamon people, their traditions were surprisingly intact, even after passage of so much time. But the problem is Cham are not immune to problems of modern times. Young are focused on material well-being instead of spiritual well-being. So they are becoming like Americans, drinking Coca-Cola and working very hard to make more money with little or time or commitment to ancestral ways, which will take them to the liberation. So here is the kite festival that they're celebrating in Vietnam. So Balaman is a form of Brahmanism. 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, it was introduced in Vietnam. And some festivals, even the Muslims also come together and celebrate in Vietnam. So around 192 CE, they adopted Hinduism as their religion. 1,000 years later, merchants stopped coming to Southeast Asia from India and influence fell, replaced by growing power of Islam, because Islam warriors were conquering country after country. Right? So there are, according to them, 4 types of temples still worshipped nowadays: Po Ininugar, Po Rom, Po Klau Girai, and Po Dam. Like if you see, Vietnamese food also has Po in front of it for everything. If you go to a Vietnamese restaurant, you'll see what I mean. But don't go there. Right now, it's all meat infested, Vietnamese food. Eating meat is definitely bad for spiritual progress. So then there is this temple called Mai Son Temple. And I have some pictures. Let's go to the pictures actually. Yeah, this is the Mai Son Sanctuary in Vietnam. It looks so nice, right? Look at the grandeur of the buildings and the temples. Very similar to Ajanta and Ellora caves. And if you see, this is just like any temple in Kanchipuram. They have this nice gopurams. Of course, local people have forgotten everything, right? They'll see these buildings and they'll say something else. But this is all influence coming from their connection with India about 5,000 years ago till about 1,000 years ago. And here's a Shivalingam with actually Abhishekam, and then there's a drain for the Abhishekam water also, if you can see there. And they also follow mandalas. So the temple needs to follow this mandala structure. Means progressively reducing mandalas, and the central point is where you put the deity. So on the deity's head, this gopuram should be there. The central point of gopuram should be there. And here there's a lot of wear and tear outside, but you still see there are like these devatas standing with folded hands outwards. So then again, most of this work was done by Bhadravarman. So you see all their names in all these 4 countries. Varman was the name of the kings. Varma, like in North India, UP, you call them Varma. In South India, I call them Varman, like that. So there's a lot of history for the Maisan temple, Shiva Vishnu temple history. So again, there was a temple called Shambhu Bhadreshwara temple. So it's a Shiva temple. Bhadreshwara is actually Shiva, Bhadra. And then his wife is called Bhadra Kali, who will rip apart everyone in form of corona or some other thing. As Kali Yuga progresses, you will see more and more of these diseases, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. Corona is just the beginning. It is said that people will be so devastated, disease after disease, not enough food stuff to eat. That is the definition of end of Kali Yuga. As it is, you are seeing, right? Since my childhood to now, the rate of bad things happening has increased actually compared to before. Even from my childhood to now. My childhood, I hardly heard any bad thing happening from when I was like maybe 3 years old till probably when I was like 30 years old. I didn't hear really any nasty things happening. But after that, rapidly things are going south. Going south means going bad, not like going to the south. So again, there is one more king called Shambhuvarman, right? There was Bhadravarman. So one of the Bhadravarman's successor is Shambhuvarman. What happened? Chinese general Liu Fang, he led an army and he defeated the elephant riders of Shambhuvarman. And he sacked the Cham table, making off with enormous booty. This is what happens. Vedic culture is very good at accumulating beautiful things like gold ornaments, necklaces, beautiful displays, right? And the Muslim kings and the Chinese kings, they attack and loot all of that. Ibrahim Lodi, he came and he looted the Srirangam temple in Tamil Nadu. And he put them on bullock carts. The length of the bullock carts was 18 kilometers. So he took all the gold in bullock carts. He went to North India. From there he went into Pakistan, what we call as Pakistan, Kandahar Pass. There is only one pass in Afghanistan where you can go into Asia Minor, like Iran, Iraq. And then he used all that money to build a big mosque in his hometown. And the mosque had a lot of cracks and finally it collapsed. So what's the use of making so much money when everything is going to eventually collapse? So in Thailand, 4th country, Hinduism plays a major role. You see Garuda is their national emblem actually. Here is shown lifting the temple like that. Then Thailand has 2 ethnic communities, Brahmin communities like Brahm Luang and Brahm Chauban. So they still have that Brahman in the front. Brahm Luang, royal Brahmins, and Brahm Chauban, folk Brahmins, like that. And then here you see that they had a town called Ayutthaya. In Sanskrit, that's called Ayodhya. So Ayutthaya is a place of considerable influence. And they follow the codes of Hindu Dharma Shastra, like Manu Samhita. Indian Hinduism gradually ceased because there was vigorous preaching of Buddhist Sri Lanka. As you know, after Ashoka killed a lot of people in the Battle of Kalinga, he became a Buddhist and his influence went to Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka Buddhism went into Southeast Asia. And Indian influence came down and Buddhist influence grew. So, but a lot of places, Hindu and Buddhist practices continue side by side like that. Hinduism is still normally practiced by Thailand by Hindus. However, Brahmins are required in the royal Thai court, even now. So here is like more of history of Thailand, various kingdoms. One of the chieftain was called C. Indraditya. Indraditya is just like, Indra plus Aditya. So they had all Devata names. Aditya means sun. Indra is the king of heaven. And then you will see that the Thai people originally lived in Nanchao, migrated into mainland Southeast Asia over a period of many centuries. The Thai chieftaincy in that declared its independence from the Khmer overlords. Khmer was from Cambodia. So they were like, again, kings from each country were ruling over the other country. So there was a lot of interplay between these different kingdoms. So during the Sukhothai period, right, where you have Nanchao period, like that, different names. So city-state of Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya is just like Ayodhya. And then they still follow the hero Rama from epic Ramayana. And then Rama Tibbodi, one of the kings, declared Theravada Buddhism as the official religion. And since then, Thailand became Buddhist. So Thailand became Buddhist, Indonesia became Muslim, Bali remained Hindu but remaining of Indonesia became Muslim, Cambodia, Christian and Muslim. So this is what's happening. The whole Vedic culture is cracking under whatever reason, right? So we have to revive it. That's the whole idea. So that's in a nutshell the history of Vedic Dharma in these 4 countries: Cambodia, Bali in Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand. So any thoughts on that one?